What's up, nerds and nerdettes and we little nerdlings all? What's up? It's your buddy Big John and G, you know that, from Two Gun Pixie Presents. And here we're doing time for a Midday Monologue. And if a Midday Monologue is live, you know we're talking about comments. I love doing this live. So much fun. So this past week was up and down. It was up and down here. But on the good side of things, after a couple of weeks of being off from the table, so to speak, the D&D group showed back up. We had a game. And in fact, our next game, I'm really excited about, is going to be the end of the module. Then we do some board games for a few weeks. And then we're jumping into Werewolf the Apocalypse, which I'm running in the 90s. Well, I ran it in the 90s. I'm running this now. But the game is going to take place in the 90s. That's really fun getting set up for that. And I'm getting ready to do some redesign. It's going to be a slow process, but I'm getting ready to do some redesign here with some of the shelving. I want to reclaim something over there. So I think the Warlock tile boxes are taking up too much room. That's about it. Any sort of little quick update about what's going on here. One of the 20-sided mutts has a, how can I put it, has a runny bottom. Poor little fella's not feeling too well. So if I hear a peep out of him, I may have to end this abruptly and go take care of my little buddy. But he was just run, him and his sister. I think everything is good and out of their systems. But when you have a runny bottom, you never know. About time for mail. And there's nobody here. So if the doorbell rings, more than likely it's the mailman. And I'll have to take a quick run, and then I'll be right back. Kind of wish, like in the old days of school, when the teacher had the pull-down map, I almost wish I had something here I could just like pull right down and be like, back in a moment. All right. So let's get to one last thing. If anyone watched the live stream last night of Hero Quest, I want to apologize. I got really short during the game, everything that was going on, and it was late. I don't want to get into things too much, but it was late. I've been dealing with a few things that have been going on in the background that I'm not very happy about. I think things have sort of culminated. And that really monotonous part of the game, I don't want to give too much away. That really monotonous part of the game, it just was like someone hammering a nail right into my temple. I just couldn't take it. So I got way too frustrated last night. I want to apologize. For that. Okay, I'm good. Let's talk about the comments that have been going on. We're already just about 3.5 minutes in. All right, so I don't get a lot of comments for my slideshow gaming. I mean, I really kind of do that series as just a passion of mine. I just really enjoy doing the series, so I don't expect a lot from it. Every now and then I get a comment. I can't remember which one it was, but there was someone a year or maybe 2 years ago made a comment on one of the slideshow gamings I did, saying that it was the best unboxing that they'd ever seen. That's pretty cool. I don't get a lot of comments. But this here, slideshow gaming, Age of Conan, the strategy game, you can see it right there. Right there. Great game. You're not actually even playing Conan in the game. You're playing one of 4 rulers, one of 4 kingdoms that are at war with, well, everyone else. It's kind of like Risk. It's a Risk kind of game set in the world of Hyboria, of Conan, and he's going around doing his missions. He's being Conan, and he can get in your way, or you can bribe him to do things. Really good game. It's one of the best Conan games I've ever played. But yeah, so right there, Age of Conan, did a slideshow for that, and someone I don't recall, apparently new to the channel. Hopefully they stuck around, but I'm not too sure based on this comment here. So from capital A and B at AB-UL4MN. AB alum, Kind of like a funny way of spelling love. I don't know. But AB, thanks for checking out the video, even though apparently it's not what you wanted to do. Because AB wrote, thought this was a video about the MMORPG. Well, it has the same name, so I guess I can see the confusion, but let's be honest. The picture of the board game is in the thumbnail. So, I don't know. Does the MMO? No, the MMO doesn't have the same box cover. Doesn't have the same art. Nothing like that. So, yes, he said you thought. Kind of like wishful thinking, I guess. If you see the box art is completely different. I guess it is. Wishful thinking is what it was. But I hope maybe you learned something about the game looking at it. Maybe. Probably not. Well, at least you didn't give me a thumbs down. So I thank you for that, AB. But if you like MMORPGs, maybe you like D&D. We got a lot of good D&D stuff on the channel. More coming up every month. We just did a Am I the Asshole D&D episode. The 27 Warriors are lining up to do some guest appearances with me on the show, which is really awesome. I thank them for that. Cool, let's do more of it. And then, of course, the behind the scenes that I do for the game I run, and then the game itself with the Tales from the Table. The gang telling you what's going on and the story so far, and you getting to see the table builds. So maybe if you like that, come back for that at least, because I don't think you liked what you saw. I hope you did. All right, so the Tabletop Takeout, Star Wars Escape the Death Star. And this is not a joke. I mean this. And that is not to be confused with Star Wars Escape from the Death Star. Different game. Now this, I could see someone getting confused about. Because even with the covers being different, they both show Star Wars covers using photos from Star Wars. I mean, at least with the Conan, not only is the box cover different, but the art style is completely different too. All right, so this is from our buddies. You know I love saying their name. Starship Chiru Studios 7097. All right, Starship said, thank you for another great video. I like the unintentional pun of solo in the video. Talking about the solo play of the Star Wars game. It is an old game. Does it stand up? I think so, but maybe more so with Star Wars fans. But then again, who's not a Star Wars fan? I mean, I literally know one. And I know a few that could take it or leave it. But as far as just not being a fan at all, I only know one in my entire life. Now, for Tabletop Takeout, Oregon Trail, the card game, we had from our old buddy, the Shogun Steen, 6475. If you like board games, you like this channel, please go check out his channel. If like myself, you are colorblind, I'm slightly with the blue-greens, then go check out his channel also. He does some great color scheme videos for color blindness on board games. And he does a lot of things that don't have to do with board games too. He does some non-board game videos. Check him out. But for Oregon Trail, the card game, he says, not the same if not played on a Commodore 64. Oh, come on, Shogun Steen. I'm telling you, I miss my Commodore 64. But now, yeah, I have seen that there are some replicas, you know? I don't know what it's called, but I know I've seen them in different things, including the Commodore 64. Things like video game packs, where it's kind of like just a big old joystick, plugs into your TV, and it's got like 100 freaking Atari games in it, or Midway games in it, or Commodore 64. But they're not the Commodore 64 games I'm looking for. Unfortunately, there's very few I would actually replay again. But top of the list is Wasteland. Oh, I would love to play a Commodore 64 version once again of Wasteland. But then there's also all the D&D Commodore 64 games, right? The Pool of Radiance and that series, and also in that time period, TSR had just come out with a Buck Rogers. They got the rights for a short time to do a Buck Rogers role-playing game, which I eagerly got and found out it was nothing like the Jill Gerard TV show of the 70s. Nothing. It wasn't based on that at all. Now, I knew the TV show was wrong because my dad grew up watching the old serials in the movie theater. So I kind of knew the story of Buck Rogers and how it was different than the TV show. But come on, the TV show, I'm a kid. I'm absorbing it for the first time. For its time period, for kids, it looked great. Oh, yeah. And they did an RPG, TSR. And they had what was the company line that did the Pool of Radiance games? God, I can't remember. It's like, I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. I can almost see the boxes. But they also did SSI. Is that it? SSI? They also did a Buck Rogers TSR game. It was so much fun. Oh, man, I'd love to play those again. You know, and I also vaguely remember a Spider-Man game on the Commodore where you were fighting Mysterio, which, and I mean this in all things considered for the Commodore 64 graphics of the time, wow, parts of it were pretty trippy. See, now those games I'll play again, but I've seen these packs for like I said, the Atari games and Commodore 64, all in like one package deal, and there's not enough I would want to play to justify me spending almost any kind of money, much less the $60 or $80, whatever it is, $100. I can't remember the price for each of them specifically. But whatever it is, there's not enough games for me to want to spend that amount of money. But yeah, not the same, if not played on a Commodore 64 for Oregon Trail. You are absolutely right about that, Shogunstein. Absolutely. Joker ES2. Offhand, I'm not ringing a bell with that. Are you new around here? If so, welcome to the party, and I hope you're sticking around. So Joker ES2, also for Oregon Trail, said, sadly, the game is Candyland, without ways to really mitigate the deck. You have won or lost simply after the first shuffle given the automatic death cards. You're pretty much right on that, I'd have to say. But I don't really feel that there's a hell of a lot of difference with what it's based on. I don't. Yes, you can argue about, the randomization and the computer program and algorithm of it all, but I think ultimately it comes down to the same argument. It's just a matter of, like even with the Commodore 64 version of the game, things that come out in a certain pattern. So you've won or lost before you even started. It's the same thing with the game, with the card game. So what's your gripe? It's simulating the card game, according to you, down to perfection. So although this kind of, to the untrained eye and ear, may sound like you are dissing the game, you are actually saying that it is a 100% perfect representation of its core material. So thank you for that comment. Thank you for the comment. Even though you're never going to play it, you don't care. Thank you for the comment. Did not mean what you thought it meant, did you? Did it or you? Big Johnny G's 5 favorite paranormal games. So on the, the way months work out, you sometimes almost always have a fifth day. It's maybe 4 weeks long, but it breaks that 4 barrier a little bit. So in any month where there's actually 5 Thursdays in a month, that 5th Thursday is always going to be Big Johnny G's 5 favorite. So for paranormal games, Texas Metalhead 82XK is back. Good to see you, brother. Said horror games are awesome. Well, he didn't put the exclamation point there, but I kind of feel like that was his attitude. Horror games are awesome. He says, I found so many games with your help. Thank you. Thank you. The main reason I do this channel is just to have fun. I'm honest about that right from the front. Almost every damn episode, every day, right? I do this for fun. So that, to me, when I hear a comment like yours, where you're telling me that you've discovered games that you're having fun with because of this channel, because what I'm doing, what the 20-Sided Warriors are doing, what we're all doing here, that this is what's helping you find some of the games you're having so much fun with. That means even more to me because that's a happy side effect to the channel. That's what it is. I'm so glad when it happens because it's not the purpose. The purpose is just, hey, I'm having fun. You want to check it out? And it means that much more when you're sitting there, you specifically, as well as you in the generalization here, are sitting there also having fun with the same game, or remembering having fun with the same game I'm talking about, I'm showcasing. That's so cool. Texas Metalhead, I love it whenever you're in the comment section. Please keep it up, brother. Keep it up. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. Right? Shogun Steed had 2 quick little comments on this same video too, where he says, "Great list of games. People love top lists." This is other comments. They do. The way I talk about things, I discovered years ago that to do a top 10 list. You want me to be honest? I'm always honest. Shades. You want me to be pure white honest here? It's too much work. Too much work for me to want to do a top 10. It's not the research. It's not the writing. It's not the note taking. I don't read off of notes. Sometimes I read off of bullet points. So I stay on point. I don't forget something. But I don't script anything here. What it comes down to is the damn editing time. That is 100% honest right there. Take that to the bank. That's why I don't do top 10 lists. 5 I like. 5 I like. That's a good amount of time to sit and watch, and it's a good amount of time for me to edit. And also, I don't like saying, phrases like greatest of all time, best of all time, greatest ever played. That's ambiguous. I don't care that you think that this is the greatest game ever, of all time. I hate that phrase, of all time. I don't see it as much as I used to. I'll admit that. But I hate that phrase, of all time. And a lot of people argue and say, technically, John, that means up until that point. No, then that's what you freaking say. Okay? That's what you freaking say. You'll say all time means all time. We don't know when time will end. And more realistically, you don't know what games are coming out next year, much less the next month. For someone to say, oh, the top 10 best games of all time. Screw you. That's why I like to say these are my 5 favorites. And even that is arbitrary to the point of when I'm filming it, how I feel at the time that I'm taking the notes, that I'm jotting down those bullet points, how I feel in that moment. Any of my 5 favorites that you can go back and watch, and I have playlists for everything. A little shameless plug, but it's true. I have tons of playlists for everything. If you go back to the 5 favorite videos, right, that I do, that playlist, I could redo any of those at any time, and it's probably going to be different because it's in the moment. Some of them will stay the same. Some of them won't. It's in the moment. That's why I think that's a more honest title that I use when I say these are my 5 favorites. Would never tell you these are the 5 greatest games of all time. You're not an idiot. I'm not a fool. So yeah, people do love the top list, and that's why I do my top listing the way that I do my top listing here at Two Gun Pixie. And me and Tom Fulo, we set this up years ago. This is the way we were going to do it because this makes more sense to us. That's why I'm still doing it this way, because it does make more sense. Shogun scenes all over the place here. Jeez, man. So for the next 2 comments here. Wow, we did not have a lot of comments. I know. Technically, and I mean this both as far as human psychology goes, as well as the algorithm here on YouTube goes. The more I physically type comments, people enjoy it. You enjoy knowing that you've been heard, that the time you spent to put something in the comment section, text me something there, that I took the time to read. I understand that. And I used to try to get to the comments, which is why I love doing these so much. but not everyone knows that I do these. People that just leave random comments and are not subscribed to the show, do not know anything else about the show, don't know that they're going to be talked about live, pro or con. I haven't gotten a bad comment in a while. It's been months since I got a bad comment. And the last time I did get a bad comment, I noticed he responded once, but I've seen no response ever since then. I don't think that jerk watches the channel. And I'm not trying to goad him into watching the channel to read the comments. But I have a right to comment. And I do. But yeah, this is, well, not a lot of comments this month. Hold on. I hate it when I see other people do it. I always say it's so unprofessional. But one moment, please. You know, a lot of the other shows, when I see someone do this on camera live, the reason it pisses me off is most people don't do live shows the way I do live shows. Most people know how to technically do a live show. I don't. All I know how to do is point the camera at me and talk. A lot of other live shows I see on YouTube, you know, they're doing shit on the side and on their computers, and screens are popping up and they're showing you live updates and bulletins and popping news things and pictures and videos up. I have no idea how to do that. Absolutely none. But the reason I get pissed at them is because I don't have an option. I can't go away to another screen to do this. So you have to see me do this, which is very unprofessional. But they can pop a screen up. They can very easily pop up a screen to show you something they're talking about, so you don't see them, and then they can take a sip. And this way they're refreshing their voice, keeping it nice and wet, wetting their whistle, right? While you don't know about it, you know? Don't look behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz. It has a lot of purpose, that phrase. But I can't do that because I'm an idiot. I'm a tech idiot. So you have to see me, and there's no plug for that. I don't want to plug this because they don't pay me to. If you know what this is, that's fine. But I'm not plugging it because this isn't that kind of show. I don't take sponsors. I don't do crap like that. But yeah, Shogunstein. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look here before we. Looks like we're getting into we're almost out of the month just about. So, Crumbling Keep. What's in the Pixies box? Company Crumbling Keep. Now, I as far as I know, I say this in the front of their video, but I'm going to say this right now too, because I do make a big deal of this. I don't have backers in the sense that people send me stuff. People don't watch my videos and say, I have got to send this guy something because I want to see him promoting this on video. I have a small handful. And to me, a handful is defined by 1 to 5. To me, that's how I define a handful. And right now, I would say it's 1. But it bounces between a handful, between like 1 and 5. And that did not look good. I just realized how that looked. I am sorry about that. I was not thinking. But Crumbling Keep has been really enjoying this channel. I thank them for enjoying us, for getting the reason why we do this. And they have sent us some of their material, which is Marching Order, which is a 4-player, or 5, you could use a DM, but normally a 1 to 4 player solo RPG, box RPG game. Not really a board game, more of an RPG. And I did a few videos on it. 20-Sided Warriors enjoyed the game. We did a live run-through of it. And I want to do more material for it coming up within the next few months. Hopefully after May, or by May, or after May, there's going to be some more stuff featuring for them, because I honestly do enjoy their stuff. But yeah, so they sent me some stuff to unbox, and I did that. Well, more than unbox, but they did that. And Shogunstein said, I think this game would have been hilarious back when I was in middle school. It does have that feel. But why do you no longer like middle school humor? You're becoming an old man? Go in a cave, get in the woods. Leave society if you've lost your sense of humor, my friend. That's one of the reasons why I do enjoy this game. It is a well thought out game. As far as a small, quick fix of a dungeon delve goes, right? I put it up there. Actually, if I remember correctly, the reason they sent me something was because they saw some videos I did on 4 Against Darkness. Another great 1 to 4 *5 player game. Quick little dungeon delve. And I do see a lot of similarities, especially with the newer stuff coming out by Crumbling Keep. I don't think I've started dropping those videos yet. That's what I'm talking about in May or so. About a month and a half, 2 months. I got some more videos for Crumbling Keep coming up. Yeah, I don't know if they did it on purpose. I'm not saying they did it on purpose because I don't know. But I did notice a few marked differences that made me think that they took notice of 4 Against Darkness and said, that is a good thing. Let's add that to this. I think. Again, I'm not claiming they did. It's just a feeling I get from looking at the new stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is a fun freaking game to run. So whether you've outgrown your humor or not there, Shogunstein, it's a fun game. It definitely is. Now, our buddy here also commented on last month's video at this very time for our February comments and AMA. And speaking of which, as usual, there are no comments. And so 1 or 2 people pop on real quick, and that was it. And I was in the middle of talking, and I didn't get to say hi, and then they're gone. At least according to this, it says 0 watching. Anyway, so for the last ones, Shogunstein said, 90s New York was fantastic. That's because I was talking, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, about the upcoming werewolf campaign. It's being run in New York City here in the 90s, which, as I commented at the beginning of the video, is funny because here in New York City, in reality, in the 90s, I was running a werewolf game taking place here in New York City in the 90s. Wow, that was disgusting. Talk about coming around full circle. Am I going to put myself in the game because I was a bouncer in the Lower East Side back then? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Be kind of meta, and I really don't want to see myself die. If the Black Spiral or a leech or something ganks me. Maybe someone inspired by me. Shogunstein also said Blood on the Clock Tower needs a big... I know, you and me we butt heads on a couple of games here. And I know, anytime I mention Blood on the Clock Tower, I know Shogunstein is going to come back with something maybe not fully negative, but negative-ish. Like Blood on the Clock Tower needs a big player count, and it unfortunately gets older after a few plays. I know. If I mention Blood in the Clock Tower, Shogunstein, you're going to mention something like that. If I mention, something about Osprey, you can be like, oh God, Osprey games again. If I mention something from Restoration Games, you're going to mention that you don't like them. So yes, that comment was counted on. Actually, Shogunstein, it was counted on. And then, as you often comment, I thank you for this, you simply commented, legendary. Yeah, I'm not sure if I got to this one last time. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, the last comment last time, actually, the first comment maybe would have been for Dead of Winter Warring Colonies, a gaming radar I did a few years back, actually. I like it when I see a first comment on a video I did years ago. That's a really cool feeling. Okay, then that's it for the comments. And there was nothing live going on. And there's nothing else to report. Well, as far as the werewolf game goes, it looks like our pack is chosen. It's picked. And the pack is going to consist of Tom Vulo is going to be playing a Bone Nora Ragabosh Metis. Talk about low in the totem pole. Next, our Furge is going to be played by Ryan, who's playing everyone else is Hamid, except for Tom Vulo playing the Metis. Everyone else is Hamid, right? And so Ryan is playing our Furge, who's an Uktena. Our Philodox is being played by Kyle, who is a Silverfang. Our Galliard is being played by Andrew, who's a Silent Strider. And our Horon, our Full Moon, or Oran, is being played by Ron, who comes from the Glasswalker tribe. And he's going along the lines more of the Made Man Hitman line of Glasswalkers than the tech heads or the businessmen. There's going to be a very interesting party they have going, and they are going to be running through the Rite of Passage module. It probably run 4, maybe 5 games, and then after that, back to D&D. Well, between D&D and Werewolf, there is going to be some a couple of weeks of just playing some board games. We don't play enough board games anymore. But yeah, so that's what's going on now. If the gang enjoys the Werewolf game, then I'm giving them the option bouncing in between our D&D modules. We take little breaks to go RPG something else, because there are so many RPG games that I have and they all want to play. You gotta make time somehow. I'm giving them the option that we can either continue Werewolf, and if they want to continue playing Werewolf, hold on. If they want to continue playing Werewolf, then they're gonna have 2 options. They can continue playing the character that they previously played for the Rite of Passage, or I will make that character an NPC in the Sept of the Green and let them make a new character now that they have an understanding of the game, because none of them have played. Well, that's not true. I was gonna say none of them have played World of Darkness before, but Kyle, years ago, played 1 or 2 games of Vampire the Masquerade. But so long ago, he's not claiming to remember World of Darkness rules that much or anything. So basically, it's safe to say this is new to all of them. If they enjoy the World of Darkness D10 system, goth punk world setting, then they have the option of continuing with their wolf pack, or continuing with the wolf pack but making a new character in the wolf pack, or let's explore New York City World of Darkness 1990s. I'm not going to run a vampire game. I'm not going to run a mage game. And to hell with Changeling. But any of the changing breed. Now, I will allow, if one of them, and I would only allow one, if one of them wants to run a vampire, I will let them. But we're not playing a vampire game. Yes, there's going to be a lot of character setup for a mixed party. I know that. But we're good. We got this. We'll figure out the backstory. But yeah, let them play Changing Breed. Have access to any of the Changing Breed. And then from the non-aligned World of Darkness books, like Gypsies and Sorcerer, I will allow character choices for that. Now, I'm also opening up to them the possibility, if they like the World of Darkness but want to try something different than Werewolf, I'm going to give them the chance to play a really interesting mixed Hunter party. Not just giving them the option of characters from Hunter the Reckoning, but also giving them options for characters from the Project Twilight book or the Inquisition book, any of the Hunter books. Demon Hunter X, which actually isn't a Hunter book. It's Year of the Ally. No, that's Year of the Lotus book. But it has the Demon Hunters in it, the Changeling Hunters, not Demon Hunter, Task Force X, the techno business marauders killing supernatural creatures, or the She, which are like martial artists, which just make sure everything's living according to the way it's supposed to live. And as long as it's not being attacked or things aren't living out of their style, usually the wandering mystic martial artist is fine with them. So there's a whole bunch of different Hunter ideas. And I'm giving them access to anything in my library. Most of them have the PDFs for the werewolf books. Ron physically went out and bought the werewolf book and the player's book and the glass book or tribe book. I love seeing that when I introduce a gaming system and the players want to get into it so much that they're going out and spending money either on PDFs or in actual copies of the books. I think that's absolutely great. I applaud my friends for doing that. Because beforehand, I kind of felt like maybe I was forcing werewolf on them, but seeing how involved they're getting in it, I know I'm not. I got to trust myself like my players do. I think my players trust me a little bit more than I trust myself sometimes. It's all the second guessing, overthinking things. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this. Now I'm doing something, if anyone's still watching this long into it, I'm doing something that Werewolf World of Darkness games actually is not made for. I'm doing this partly for the abject fun of doing it, because I just love doing what I'm about to tell you I'm going to do. I'm also doing it for you guys, because it looks awesome. Witch's Honor. You know the TV show Bewitched? Witch's Honor. Witch's Honor. It looks awesome. So what I'm doing is I'm turning, that's a very strong use of the word, I'm turning the World of Darkness into a miniatures based game. Not for combat, not for that, just for visualization, just for the aesthetics, just for the strategy. You know, I've always in the past played World of Darkness as a theater of the mind game, but now I want to do things. I want to show things. And I've started getting some modern pieces for the builds. I've looked through the Rite of Passage booklet, and I'm specifically and only right now buying things that I need for this module as far as modern pieces. But, you know, a lot of it, and I don't want to give too much away for the 20-sided warriors that may be watching this before we start playing that module, but there are things I already have on hand, because not everything is taking place in the heart of the city. So that actually helps my wallet out a little bit. That I have so much. I would say I have about 2/3 of everything I already need in my miniatures and terrain stuff. Awesome. Now they're going to continue werewolf stuff. I already started looking into and putting some cash away for some modern things. I'm particularly looking at the battle systems, which I have so many great D&D things for already. And I'm going to pick this up without ruining it. Not really, it's in 3 pieces. But, you know, I love these things. I love these things. They're awesome. But they do have some modern terrain, some city streets. So I'm going to get that. And then we're back to D&D. And with the ending of the Brendanford module, the party is going to go old school. I'm homeschool updating the Against the Giants modules, the classic AD&D G1, G2, G3, and we're going to be handling them one at a time because they're not that big as far as written books go. Modules, they're not that big, but these are giant, no and all, pun intended, at the same time. These are giant modules, each of them individually, even though they're not written very big. So we're going to handle them one at a time. So when we bounce back from Werewolf, with Brendanford all behind us, it's going to be time for the steeding of the Hill Giant Fort. And that's about as far in the future as I think we need to talk. Because by that time, as far as you watching the Tales from the Table episodes about this, we're talking next year. Next year. Because think about this. We're just ending Brendanford now. You just saw, and if you didn't see it, go back and check it out. You just saw, hopefully, Tales from the Table that dropped. That's dropping this week. No, you didn't see it yet. No, this Thursday. Tales from the Table is part 2 of our Death Lords of Vecna. Taking a break from our good characters before they entered Brendanford, in between their modules, doing a 3-piece standalone homebrew adventure of my own, where they get to play evil characters. Part 2 is dropping this week. Next month, part 3 drops. So that's April. So in May, you're going to see part 1 of Speaker in the Dreams, or Brendanford Adventure. And by that time, we're already going to be playing Werewolf here in real time. So much going on. And I'm so far ahead of schedule. With so many of my videos, this feels good. It feels relaxing. Like last year, I took 2 months off. Other than live videos, I took 2 months off. Didn't film a goddamn thing. I feel great. I think that's why I don't suffer, from fatigue doing this channel. Because every few months, I can take a month or 2 off, and it doesn't affect the channel whatsoever. All right, I'm talking enough. We're about 40 minutes in. I've given time for anyone else to come and join us, and that hasn't happened, and that's fine. That means I get to go take care of my little buddies and see how Mojo's doing. Then what do I have to do? Oh, and then I got some gaming radars to film. All right, sounds like I got a busy afternoon. So everyone take care. Thank you for joining me here. I'm your buddy Big John Ed G for Two Gun Pixar Presents Legendary Gaming, and I am Take care. Ah, turn off.